What is going on, guys? It's Experimental Merv here, and today I want to kind of divert away from Fallout 4. I know there's enough videos being made about it, but I want to move on to my next favorite franchise, and that is Bioshock. Bioshock is just hand in hand with Fallout. It has plopped from being my favorite or second favorite when it comes to Fallout. Like, sometimes Fallout will rise above Bioshock, and then Bioshock will do the same. And, I just really love the game, and I feel like we should add this to this channel. It's just starting out. But I just want to lay down that foundation. I really want to talk about Bioshock here. And, there's been rumors around that 2K, since 2K is now the rights holders of the Bioshock series, we've all been thinking about a Bioshock 3 or whatever the new installment might be. We don't know what that could be, but we pretty much know there's going to be one in the future, and it was never written in stone that there would not be another Bioshock. There's, if you've seen the interview with not Courtney Taylor, I forget her name. I think it's Courtney, I'm not sure, but the lady that voices Elizabeth, she, in the DLC interview for Burial at Sea, she mentions that this is a great way to kind of put a cap on the Bioshock series. Like, does that mean she's hinting the end? But I really doubt that. I think there's a lot more possibilities with Bioshock. It's not like Fallout where there's so many locations you could use, but Bioshock takes you to places off the map and off the radar. So lots of people have discussed Bioshock in space, and I could see that. I really could see that. I could see a Bioshock underground, maybe. I've always had that idea, like maybe somewhere deep in the Grand Canyon. I'm not sure, but I would just love to see another Bioshock game, and I would really like to see Rapture again sometime in the future, because Rapture is just a lot of fans, including mine's favorite location for Bioshock. And there's just there's so many possibilities, especially since they brought in the multiverse theory into it. But, to be honest, I was never a fan of the multiverse theory being brought into Bioshock, but, it was still great. But I did have an idea for a Bioshock 3. Maybe it could take place on an island, like kind of like Far Cry, but definitely not a rebel inhabited, tigers and lions everywhere. Just kind of like this industrialized island made by, an Andrew Ryan or a Comstock-like figure. And maybe he kidnaps people across the world so he can build this, perfect society, a utopia. And, of course, things all go to hell later on, but that's Bioshock, and I could just see it going in so many directions at this point. And, it doesn't always have to be connected to Rapture, kind of like Columbia did. But now that I think Burial at Sea kind of, they kind of finished the cycle and told the story of how everything actually happened, now maybe Bioshock can move on and do something, a little bit different. It's all going to have to be in a kind of a city. It's going to be in a city, but it's got to be original at the same time, which I think is going to be a struggle, because Columbia is the only other place we've been in besides Rapture. There's been no other place yet, and I'm sure there's going to have to be some sort of relation between the two, not lore-wise, but definitely when it comes to gameplay and mechanics and characters and enemies, because there's going to have to be a Big Daddy sort of character. That was kind of the handyman in Bioshock Infinite. Though those were kind of like the Big Daddies. They weren't really protecting anyone in particular, but, they're bosses. They're pretty hard to take down. So they're going to have to make an alternative to that. They're going to have to make an alternative to splicers. I mean, is this going to be a city full of crazies again? Is it going to be full of just a bunch of maniacs, kind of like in Columbia? They're all driven by the profit and all that. So there's going to have to be some sort of craziness going on, and I can't begin to think of what it could be. I mean, if there's a Bioshock in space, why is everyone hostile to you? Who is going to be the major characters? That shouldn't be difficult for them, but, who's going to be the Big Daddies? Who's going to be the little sisters, in a sense? So the possibilities for Bioshock continuing onward is very high, but the thing I just can't wrap my brain around is how I'm going, if I work for 2K, how I'm going to make this in relation to Columbia and Rapture and what's in Columbia and Rapture. Uh, but yeah, I just think that a next Bioshock could go on. It doesn't always have to be, Rapture and Columbia, as much as that hurts to say, because I love Rapture especially. I don't really give a shit about Columbia. But um, if it can move on, I'd say it should move on. I don't think that it should just be bound to Rapture and Columbia. Like I said, I think there should be, more locations and more to do and plenty of sequels. Just kind of like Fallout. Fallout should definitely keep going, I think, because it's definitely at its height right now. And Bioshock could always come back with more. It just has a bigger, broader horizon it could build on. So that's my thoughts on a next Bioshock, a Bioshock 3, whatever. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. I really do think that they should continue, just without a doubt, because there's no way it could stay like this. But thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe.